qualifying match, the winner moves on to the 8-card stud tournament to be contested at Against All Odds.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an 8-card stud qualifying match scheduled for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from the United Kingdom, representing the British invasion, Brutus Magnus.
For the former TNA World Tag Team Champion Brutus Magnus, this has to be one of the biggest singles matches of his career.
Well, this right here, Mike, is a guy who will not pass up on an opportunity like this. We quite possibly could be looking at the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion down the road. You never know.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment that you've all been waiting for. He weighs in tonight at 235 pounds. He hails from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And he is the future of that there four-sided ring. Let me repeat myself, that four-sided ring. Hey, I didn't say that I was the future. Hulk Hogan said I was the future. And if Hulk Hogan said I was the future, well, you damn sure know it must be true, Mr. Anderson.
Taz, it was last week on Impact when Mr. Anderson was handpicked to be Jeff Jarrett's opponent when Jarrett returned to the ring.
Well, I got to say, Jeff Jarrett with a 7-month layoff had a hell of a showing for himself. I'm looking, Mr. Anderson took a shortcut, got the victory. But I got to tell you, in my opinion, as a former wrestler, I think Jeff Jarrett's cardiovascular stamina kind of went south a little bit in this match. The layoff affected him. Anderson was your winner.
And as you sit there and watch those highlights, the replays, you wonder if the result would have been different if Jeff Jarrett was in full ring shape.
I don't know. I wonder if Jeff Jarrett passed Eric Bischoff's gut check test. That's what I wonder.
This Anderson, he's such a great self-promoter, not afraid to point out Hulk Hogan's labeled him as the future, and Hogan has referenced him as an individual who could, in the future, be a TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Is tonight the first step?
Hey, and what's wrong with an endorsement like that? Hello? I mean, come on, it's maneuvers like we just saw Anderson do to get that kind of an endorsement from a legend like Hulk Hogan.
And 23-year-old Brutus Magnus from the UK on the receiving end of this assault from Mr. Anderson in this 8-card stud tournament qualifier.
That's just so smart, how you break down an opponent. You see his hand is spread out. You stomp on his fingers. All those little bones in the man's knuckles and fingers, and it got to hurt like hell.
Impact of that shot in the corner. Even Anderson down to a knee because he threw Magnus in with such force and such velocity, just like that shot into the turnbuckle.
Look at the opportunity at hand for Brutus Magnus here. Last week, we saw his partner, Doug Williams, capture the TNA X Division title. Could you imagine here if Magnus is able to advance?
Magnus and Williams, the British invasion, along with Big Rob Terry, and that brings to mind that we want to thank the TNA fans in Europe, the great support on the recent tour. We had stops in Glasgow, Paris, Bournemouth, Cardiff, Coventry, Manchester, and London. What a terrific tour it was for TNA, and such great support from the TNA fans.
Right now, Magnus is trying to mount some sort of a offense or comeback here. It's been mostly Mr. Anderson throughout this matchup.
Well, the overall implications of the qualifying matches and the 8-card stud tournament, they're just huge. Of course, most importantly, winner goes on against all odds, and that winner will eventually get a shot at the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He'll be crowned the #1 contender. Magnus has turned this in his favor, goes for the cover and gets a near fall.
Well, Brutus Magnus is a phenomenal athlete, and quickly he turned the tides on Anderson.
Of course, another aspect of the tournament. Going to try and take him up. Could be the Tormentum.
The eye.
Finishing move of Brutus Magnus.
Look at that.
Oh, but he's stopped by the eye rake, the eye gouge. And Anderson sets him up and hits the mic check. Got the leg hook, goes for the pin, and gets the 3 count.
Well, Mr. Anderson joins some pretty good company right now in advancing in this tournament. Desmond Wolf, Hernandez, and now that man, Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, victorious, gains the victory over Brutus Magnus. And yes, he's headed to Against All Odds and the 8-card stud tournament.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner, Mr. Anderson.
No confidence problem there, huh, Mike?
That's what he's all about. I called him an incredible self-promoter.
Nothing wrong with that. Got a little bit of an attitude about him, Mr. Anderson. I personally like that about this cat. I did say cat.
The cockiness, the confidence of Mr. Anderson. Will it be enough?